And someone said, bring on the modulation. So let's give it a try. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
RADIO. Well, one of my favorite things to do, hopefully yours, on a Saturday evening, the Old Tube Radio Network. And I hope you have been able to do some radio this week, or at least try to. I have tried and sort of failed miserably to do lots of radio, but I will make up for that tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, my name is Dennis on your Old Tube Radio Network tonight, beaconing across the airwaves in the Central Valley of California on 27085 Channel 11, and maybe a few other places. The band has been quiet. I think OBP says sunspot numbers are up a little bit, but I'm not sure how the E-skip is working tonight. We will find out. In the meantime, of course, we'll be talking to our shortwave listeners, and then, of course, we will be waiting for the thing that we do best on a Saturday evening, and that's those old tube radios. Our tube radio operators are standing by, and it is, where did they go? It is the first of our new 8-week rosters, so those that have the SWLs that have perfect attendance for the last 8 weeks have been placed into the, I don't even know what this is. I think it's an old M&M, yeah, an M&M jar, so that we can get our 00. JT did a great job the last 8 weeks, so thanks for that. All right, let me get started here so we can continue, so that we can commence to begin on the Old Tube Radio Network, and I know what's going on. Thank you to, was it Bozo Control? Somebody that ran our numbers today. All right, I've got one here. Hopefully it is got, and it is a long-time listener, not a first-time caller, and this is one of those guys that's been around so long. He may be one of the guys that's been 00 the most. SWL 56. There it is, Mr. Phil, who he checks into a lot of nets here in Central California, like this, and also on amateur radio. And he has got one of those calls that has an A in it. And so he's always being called first. And now it's going to be the same way here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Phil, are you listening? Over.
I definitely am. So I guess it would be 00 checking in.
Indeed. You have done that before. All right, thanks. We've got the X in the square. I've got the new roster starting with 9/25/2021 and ending on 11/14. And it looks like we might be on the air on Halloween night. So those of you who have spooky radios, be planning for that for our end of the next month check-in. Thanks, Phil. We got you checked in. Wow, and now my noise level just came up grandiosely. Are the numbers working? Let's see. 00's in. SWL number 1 is in. Boy, if that's too loud, I'll turn down the RF gain. SWL number 2, Mr. OBP is in, and I have been running around, so I haven't been looking at the comments too much, but maximum usable frequency up on 10 meters, perhaps tonight. Sunspot number 75, meaning there are a couple of sunspots rotated, beaconing down to the Earth, and who knows what might happen. The Old Tube Radio Network. As always, number 2, you are 9 pounds. Good modulation at Chestnut in Herndon. Over to SWL 3. Shortwave listener number 4. SWL 5. And I'm going to make an adjustment on the receiver just so it's not so loud in the stream here. All right, that should help a bit, and I think we will still be able to hear all the stations. Yeah, I'm back in the OTR garb tonight. We've got the seersucker suit, and I was able to properly enjoy the pool this week. It works a lot better when when you're not fully dressed. And I must say, they did a good job. They did a very good job on putting things together out there with all the umbrellas. It looks great. Maybe we'll get a picture someday. Let's go to SWL6. SWL7. And I got a note.
Proxy 7, he had a poker game.
Yeah, I got a note that he's got the poker game. So hopefully he will be in on time or before the net, and we'll get the yay or nay on whether he weighs a little bit more than when he left because of all the coins in his pocket. Over to, let's see, we jump over to Chrissy up in Idaho, SWL10. I'm looking to see who's on the video side. OBP is there. Levon is in tonight. Hello, Levon. Rusty Rails. I used to talk way back when I first started in CB back in late 1969, 1970. It used to be a station with the most awesome controlled carrier E.F. Johnson radio. It used to go by Rusty Nails. So thanks, Rusty. Jay Bromley is in. Hello, Jay. Looking good on the old tube radio network. We've got the Wheatstone is doing good tonight. Hopefully it will make me sound better than I actually do. We'll be coming up to some of the other stations. Who else is in? Okay. John is in. John, hello, John. Felix, coming up to you. All right, we're looking good here. Let's go over to SWL 13. Now, we've got the comments up on the oldtuberadio.net page, so if you leave a comment there at some point in the evening, I will be able to see it. I have a note. Check in Mike. Mike checked in from Facebook. All right, Michael, you, Mr. Cobra, we got you. SWL 14. SWL 16, Charlie up there in Anoka, Minnesota. Got you checked in. There it is. If I don't click the thing, you don't get checked in. Well, you get checked in, but it doesn't register on the Universal Media NetWeb somewhere. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. Mikey, KTA from the Facebook. Got to check in for Mikey. And SWL 19, Belfast, Maine, by way of Derby, New York. Chet is in tonight, and Chet is doing. Are you doing? Yo, Chet is doing the cue cards tonight. And thank you. And he's also got the. Oh, look at this. This is pretty fancy. We have. Is this an official? No, it's not. Okay, maybe this is an official OTR stainless steel drinking thing. All right, we are good to go. Thanks. That is good. When you're wearing the seersucker suit under all these lights. Chet is in. Over to SWL 20. Okay, Harvey, we've got you. And we'll get the others when they appear. Okay, what is next? Who is next? SWL 21, Mr. JT, from the Wasama Swamps of South Carolina. The lights are doing the thing. Just back from Old Radio Night tonight. What was on Old Radio Night tonight? I was so busy, I did not get a chance to check in. The SBE Trinidad and DA Maverick reverse preamp for scientific research. You know, without that scientific research that DD21 does, we would not have all sorts of things. We would probably not have the Super Bowl. Let me see if I can get some audio from Old Radio Night.
night on Channel 22.
Hey, there we go.
Up around Sandy Run and up and around Columbia up there. So that was a good little thing, and I enjoyed it up there, that shootout up there. It was really great. We didn't stay for the award ceremony because we had to get on back home. It must have been 9 o'clock when we left up there, and I just couldn't stay any longer there.
There, DD21, Mr. JT. Dirty Diaper is one of those ubiquitous, omniscient, omnipresent 11-meter operators that not only you hear him on all 23 channels throughout the week, but he goes to those CB shootouts where he is probably busy signing autographs most of the time. And there, if you're looking at the video, that's a shot of the old Radio Night Tonight, the SBE Trinidad. The SBE radios back in the day, 23 channels, I remember those, early 70s, that and the Pierce Simpson. And you used to have the big color catalogs, and you think, why, do I have $300? And you realize you're making $2 an hour, and you think, no, I don't have $300 to buy an SBE Trinidad when you're still in high school. All right, anyway, looking good on old Radio Night, and hopefully everybody does something like that, where you are. You do a Radio Night. I'm going to have to fix the lights here. It's a little dark in the studio. But that won't affect the roll call. Thanks, JT. Over to SWL 22. SWL 23. And that's 23 could do. In fact, I have been so busy, I have not even checked to see if the Echo link is actually linked. And indeed it is over at Echo Link 354870. Let me see. We'll just do a live check-in, a live check on the Echo Link. So, Mitch, if you're around, I'm gonna give it a try on the Echo link. KB6GFD. Is it working? Over.
What?
And we'll see if we can get the Echo link.
Welcome to the Old Tube Radio Network Echo Link Support Center. All agents are currently assisting other customers, but your call is important to us. Please stand by and the first available agent will be happy to assist you. Estimated wait time is currently 19 hours, 23 minutes.
All right. Well, I can see that the Echo Link has got into the 21st century. It's up and running. All right. Well, put me on hold. We'll come back, but it looks like the Echo link is up and running. If you'd like to try it out and you have that, look for the Old Tube Radio Network or 354870. We'll be back. This is the Old Tube Radio Network, and glad to see that the Echo link is up. KB6GFD. And if you thought spam on your phone wasn't enough, so. All right, where are we going? SWL 23 is in SWL 24. Joseph checking in. He's got one of those early. I know about those early calls back in the days of getting in the door at 3 a.m. and 8:30 seems like midnight because in a sense it is. Let's go over to SWL 25.
Hey, get off the goddamn radio, okay? Go up to a different channel.
And it's the Ethanol Theater tonight. It's been a while since we had Ethanol Theater on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to page 2, SWL 27.
Ethanol Evans checking in live from Studio G.
Live from Studio D. Dwayne, I noticed that you were on our perfect attendance list. Isn't it great having a real radio in Studio G where you can check in every week?
Oh, roger that. Just can't wait till I make 00.
You had a chance tonight. I was thinking it could be very possible, but our 00 tonight, SWL 56, who has been doing it a lot, mainly because he's been out here 30 plus years. I went to the picnic or the barbecue fest over at the Holden Rancheria, baked some chocolate chip cookies. It was good. I couldn't stay for the bingo, but everyone was having a great time. Missed you out there. All right. Anyway, 73, and thanks for checking in.
Roger.
Next, we're going to SWL 28. Gary up the road a piece in Sacramento. I don't think I saw Gary yet on the list, so I will put a proxy in for Gary because he will probably be in tonight. We do have a proxy check in for Mr. Loner, SWL 29. And then let's see if we can get RFI in Idaho over to SWL 30. And SWL 31. In fact, let me see who's in the house tonight over at oldtuberadio.net. Up in the balcony, Dallas, Texas. Peeking over the balcony. I think they'll be coming down here. Hello, Fresno. Temecula, California. The unknown SWL. If you see the person with the bag on their head and the rubber duck antenna, say hello to the unknown SWL. Dallas, Georgia, Moncks Corner, Germantown, Wisconsin, Squamish, BC, waiting. They've got the mobile fired up. 428 is ready to go if we would get some conditions. Woodland Park, Colorado, with the beams pointed towards Central California. Inez, Kentucky, Auberry, California. Hello to Anoka, Minnesota, Canby, Oregon, Belfast, Maine, and a host of others on your old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 32.
Bunch of liberals.
SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, Jingle Singers, I don't know, just the general crew here at the old Tube Radio Network. Let's try SWL 34. That's Jimmy, Little Toot. Had a great picture of them both on Facebook. I should see if I can pull that up. They might be in a little bit later. Let's go to SWL 35, and I will check my list because often 35 stops by from cool Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'll see if he's on the updated roster here. Over to SWL 36. SWL 37. Chris is probably got some movie nights going on, so we will wait until intermission, and he will probably join us. And there is Mr. Bill right on time from Cheyenne, Wyoming, from cool Cheyenne, Wyoming. It is officially autumn here in Central California, which means it's probably officially the middle of winter in Cheyenne anyway. Enjoying it there. Red Monkey Communications. If you're out and about and you see the Red Monkey Communications set up the van, stop in and say hello and tell them that OTR sent you. And Mr. Bill would know what you're talking about because probably half of the radios, the tube radios you hear tonight, are courtesy of Mr. Bill and Red Monkey Communications at some point. Over to SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40 from down in the subterranean basement. Sometimes he checks in via the video site. I'll keep an eye out for Larry. SWL 41, Road Dog 507. I don't think he's scrolled past my video just yet, so we will keep an eye out for 507 out there, I think, in the Hudson Valley of New York. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL 42, who is out and about these days. And there is 507, just waiting for the internet to catch up with the old Tube Radio Network here. 41, I'm checking in. 2 international sideband 507 from the Hudson Valley of New York, saying good evening to everyone. Over to SWL 43. Now I'll get Eddie checked in. I think he actually popped into the Ditch Banks sideband net last night and sounded pretty doggone good. So, Eddie, if you're listening, you're checked in.
Maybe you better get off.
Over to SWL 44. I added a few more, I would say, logs to the fire, but actually just some sticks to the fire, so I might be able to beacon in around the giant rock there at Dunlap. for 44 tonight. But anyway, we are trying. And if you're out there, hello, radio. All right. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Let's try SWL 45. Hello, Paul.
Hi there. Kind of good. As long as the skip doesn't cover yet. 45, check it in.
All right, sounding good, Paul. Yeah, it's skip or ethanol-powered radio or whatever. Anyway, after 36 years, the show must go on, and indeed it does. Thanks for checking in.
Goddamn two-way.
SWL 46. SWL 47. And I'm not sure. Somebody was on a walkie-talkie. No 47. He's... it was Joe. Joe was on the TRC 217. I think Mike has a 217 as well. That's what he uses when he goes out on the Christmas tree lane once a year. Over to SWL 48. SWL 49. SWL 50. SWL 51. Hey, from at or near the big town of Sanger, 305. You are sounding good here into Midtown tonight. We've got you checked in, Dave. Thanks. Ever to SWL 52. SWL 53. All right, Mr. Belair, you're sounding good. 52 might show up on the golden microphonium tonight. We will see, but thanks for checking in. We got you.
Thank you very much.
Over to SWL 54 for the cosmic check-in for Mr. Board Jammer. 54 is in. Up the hill we go to SWL 55.
55.
All right, 55 Eminem sounding good, and we've got you checked in tonight. And the station that got us started off as 00, SWL 56. Hello, Phil, once again.
56 just for kickses? Is that the plural?
Now, what is the plural? Mises and mouses, and I think that's one of those trick. That's one of those trick plurals. So maybe kicks is like a reindeer. Maybe it is the plural. Kicks is kicks. All right, well, we've got them. We're getting our kicks tonight, that's for sure. Thanks for checking in. SWL 57. Mr. Brown Dog Audio, BDA, WWS 1942, Central Kentucky. And Brown Dog, you are correct. Don't you know, in doing this for so many times, that is what we have learned. You know, you just keep pedaling the bike up the hill, and at some point you get to go down. Thank you, 57. SWL 58. We'll get the check-in for Jeremy, who is somewhere at some time working on that big station. He's trying to outdo Motormouth Mall. He just needs about 50 more feet on the boom, and I won't say how many more watts. Let's go over to SWL 59. Sounds like they got some fans. SWL 60. Hello, Joe.
Hi, hello, Dennis and the crew out there. Yeah, sounds like we got somebody out there getting stirred up. SWL 60 checking in on this Striker 955.
Yeah, the Striker is sounding good on the stirred up frequency tonight. I could not hear the portable radio, and I'm surprised because you put in a great signal when you have more than 100 milliwatts, but somebody heard you out there and said it sounded pretty good. So you are wall-to-wall, treetop tall, even at 100 milliwatts, or 5 watts, or whatever it was.
Thank you, Dennis. That was fun. I just happened to have it here. I've been working on it. I've got a 207 and a 217, and the 217 has the metal antenna, and the 207 is, well, the rubber ducky. But it was fun. Thanks a whole lot, Dennis.
Absolutely. All right, sounding good, and that's how I started out, with a pair of Hallercrafters CB11A 100 milliwatt walkie-talkies, and I did have a lot of fun with those. Over to Copenhagen, SWL 61. All right, sounding good. Dean 61 from near and far out on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for checking in. Let's go to SWL 62 from Bottenero, North Dakota. And hello to Radio South North 911. Good evening to you listening in over at the video site. Over to SWL 63. Anybody, did Butterbean, like I said, I was sort of absent on Old Radio Night tonight. Did Butterbean stop by Old Radio Night tonight? Someone let me know. Out there in North Georgia. Let's try SWL 64. SWL 65. Yeah, that's right. Somehow someone got a ticket and got through security tonight. Let's go to SWL 66. And a tip of the OTR hat and a honk of the Bozo Control Proboscis to Uncle Gunter's in tonight. Jumping in early. Good morning. Good morning from One Nice Voice across the ocean there. Happy Saturday evening into OTR line. Thanks, Gunter, for stopping by. I know you have places, people to see, and things to do. We always enjoy when you jump in to the old Tube Radio Network. Let's go over to, let's see, I think the next item would be SWL 67. And that's Bill up in Canby, Oregon, and he had the keys, as always, to get us in to the into the studio tonight. It's so nice outside now, with the pool and the umbrellas. We'll have to see if I can do an outdoor, use the Table 33 antenna to get things going. Anyway, hope all is going well in Canby tonight. And let's see, can I check? Well, let's see, maybe I can. Let's check the weather report up there. Clear and 68. Yeah, that is definitely an autumn day up in autumn evening up in Canby, Oregon. Over to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny in Tulsa. Kenny, I'm checking you in. If you're watching the video, we will catch you on the playback. But we do have you checked in. And the elections in Germany, ours are usually on some Tuesday. On some random, well, it's actually not a random Tuesday. So you're voting, wait a minute, today on Sunday? On Sunday, as it were? All right, well, hopefully the vote goes well, and they vote yes on no, no on yes, and whoever you want gets in where they're supposed to be. Let's go over to SWL 70. And hello to X4000, who we'll be hearing from X4000 here shortly when we jump into the Tube radio side of things. Good to have you aboard. And yeah, I'm dressed properly tonight because I know I will not get thrown in the pool. Let's head over to, where are we going? We are heading over to Dallas, Georgia, Foreland, SWL 71. And Stan is in tonight. next weekend is the California QSO party. I guess that's right, in October. That is the one, I don't even know if it's a contest, but that's the one thing I really like to do, because people are, I guess they're looking for you. So you get on, and it's not hard to keep points and, keep track of your roster numbers to give out points. So that is on 20 meters. All right, let's see, I'm trying to think what's going on next Saturday. I may try to do that in my wimpy, such that it is Radio Shack here at the moment. I'm working on it, but it's not where it needs to be. But yeah, I'll be able to make some contacts, so maybe we'll do that. Cal QSO party. That is, if I do one thing, it's usually that, because it actually is fun. It's easy to do. Thanks, Stan. Stan is always good at knowing. He's like our ARRL guy. He always knows what's going on. Let's go over to SWL 72. SWL 73. And I did not see John at the picnic at the Rancheria today. I thought he would be out there. And let's see, the picnic, the other picnic the X4000 is referencing was last week. So I made chocolate chip cookies for that one. I made chocolate chip cookies for this other gathering for the Fresno Amateur Radio Club. So I don't know, I'm just about cookied out. Let's go over to SWL 74. SWL 75. And 57 degrees, light overcast sky, winds at 2 miles per hour southwest, 70% precipitation possibly for today, rain around noon. Out there, wash some of the dirt off the extended double zip. Oh, they have some great conditions. Let's head over to SWL, from the Tower of Power, SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and sounds like your link Punjabi needed to pedal a little faster. Anyway, 73s to all the listeners, and far and wide, and old 77 out here on the weaky squeaky Tower of Power in the Tower District, checking in.
Sounding good, yeah. It's even Echolink is not safe. We'll try it again. I've reconnected, so maybe I'll get to yet another far off land. Who's in? We'll check in with Tony here at the next couple of check-ins and see if we've got an established link on our Echolink link. Thanks, Dennis. You are sounding good from the tower.
Thank you.
Where I was there this afternoon. One of my jobs, and I kid you not, on Saturday in the tower, is to take out the trash at the radio station, because I'm there doing something else. So I stop by and roll out the garbage cans, assuming that there's no one in them. But anyway, today was good. Let's try SWL 78. That's Richard down there in Wild Wildemar. And Richard should be in at some point. I don't know. Maybe we'll hear him. What are the bands like tonight? Let me jump in quickly. There's the FT8 stations on 20 meters. WWB sounds weak. 40 meters. Gotta be something on 40. Are the bands that dead? 75 sounding good. Let me see if there's any AM guys. Nothing on 3870. All right, we'll check in a little bit later. In the meantime, we are looking for SWL 79.
Checking in.
All right, sounding good. Beaconing in to Midtown. Good tonight, Philip. Thanks. And the bands are still open. Uncle Gunter talking to K0TJT on What's Up Net a few minutes ago. So if you're in the right spot with the right antenna, that's a lot of radio. 11 meter, 10 meter, wherever you're at. That's a lot of radius. Being in the right spot at the right time, even with the low antenna and minimal power. If you can be that first station out there when the DX window opens, you can usually make a contact with no problem. Let's go over to SWL 80. And let's see, what is, oh, I know what's going on. Before we flip the page, let's see what's up and running and new. Anyway, like I said, I've been enjoying all the new stuff that is going on around here, courtesy of all the construction. I think it's courtesy of the Costco card, actually.
27.0850 TR channel 11.
Just checking my paperwork here to make sure I got the right stuff and see what's going on with Bob and Steve. They do really good, being that they're way out in Ohio somewhere. I just noticed my balance control on the audio is a little off, so I'm switching that. So if you've been doing something, I just made an adjustment. So it's not your device. It is my device. Jingle singers are coming in from the pool again tonight. They really enjoyed out there. Once I figured out, everything last week was sort of all in fun, and they wanted to sort of christen the pool with the net controller, then all was well. Like I said, I've been enjoying the pool this week, and it works quite nice. They said you can come out and visit anytime during the show. Well, I am going to take one of those plastic poncho things like they give you at Disneyland or Disney World when you go on those rides that get you wet. I think that might work well. Eddie said no problems on the LED lighting surrounding the pool. No problems with radios around the pool. And I see there was a couple of things set up earlier in the week. People doing some DXing from the pool. The electric stuff was looking good. The Emmy Awards people called the green room looking for Dennis 33, and it says, I have an Emmy Award for my performance last Saturday. Well, it wasn't hard to perform. I just went outside, and the jingle singers did the rest, somewhere on a YouTube channel near you. At the pool tonight from Ruth Chris Steakhouse, all free. Oh, I like that. I like free. They saw you on YouTube and love it. All right, sometimes you have to sacrifice a little to get a lot. Everybody enjoy. We'll be checking in radios coming up, so stay tuned. And, of course, don't forget to feed the fish.
27.0850 TR channel 11.
And those radios will be coming up. The Old Tube Radio Network, oldtuberadio.net, YouTube, and, of course, right here on Channel 11. The way we started out 36 years ago. I don't know. It's been a long time. But when a group of us got down on Channel 11 and says, let's fire up the tube radios and give them a run and talk on radios the way they're supposed to be. SWL 81, Steve Areno, Mr. Unicorn. Getting Steve checked in, and I've got one of those crystals here from the crystal pack. There it is. We are going to distribute those and get people on the airwaves. Thanks for that, 81. Also, let's go to SWL 82.
Dispatch of Biola, good evening, and great show you got going on tonight. I wish mine was that good, but you are the king.
Yeah, sometimes you get the warm-up act. Every great band has a warm-up act, but typically the warm-up act stops and gets off the stage before the show. But sometimes if the warm-up act is good enough, they just keep going. And that's, sometimes you get an extra bonus. You pay your fee, you pay your cover charge at the door, and you get the good stuff. Talking to Ron Bones, SWL82, and just a reminder that if you are in the area here and you've got sideband and one of those newer 40-channel radios, stop by Channel 36 lower sideband, won't you? On Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And Ron will get you checked in on the Ditch Banks sideband net. Open to everyone, and we also look for good conditions. Ron has one of the... He's like JT. He's like DD21. He's got one of those stations that everybody hears. So give it a try on Friday nights on 36 lower. All right, Ron, we're going to send the opening act your way on Friday.
To plug Saturday night's OTR, because, man, this is where it all happens, right here, Saturday night. All right, Dennis, so we'll let you get on with the show. 7-3, everybody.
Yeah, it happens whether you like it or not. Who's the breaking station for OTR?
37.
37. All right, it must be intermission time. Let me scroll back up to the page, and we will get you checked in. You are sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks. Man, I have got one heck of a static noise level all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. Let's try SWL 83. SWL 84. We'll get 84 checked in. And I always forget, when I check in 84, we will do the ceremonious lighting of the tube radio behind me, the Messenger 223, from the collection of 84. Let's try SWL 85. And I will also get the triple play for 86, 87, and 88. That's Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, respectively. Over to SWL 89. SWL 90. You've got a check in there, a proxy check in. And SWL 91. Did I see Felix in earlier? He's one of those stations that's got to stay up late or get up early to make the Old Tube Radio Network. So I'll keep an ear and an eye. Oh, there he is right there. He knows how to do it. I don't have to look far. For Felix is on the band. We've got the big check-in. Thanks, Felix, for listening in to what people sometimes call the Saturday night place to be. Also online, SWL 34, outside of Chicago, Illinois, checking in. 34, of course, Jimmy, little toot, and let's see if the whistle. I will try not to do the mournful one like we had last week. Let's try this one. Well, that was kind of squeaky. That one had a little bit of a squeak to it, but it still worked. 34 is in. Gonna make sure I've got the X in the square here.
You got that?
And we were on page 4 if you're playing the home game, looking for SWL 92. And SWL 93.
Break, Dennis.
That's right. I'll have to try the toot again. That's without the effects, and that still isn't very good. If I was applying for the job, I would be probably delegated to the caboose. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, 43 for Edgar. He's on here. Told me to check in. His radio started messing up. They wanted me to check him in on 43.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I got 43. In fact, I think I checked him in because he sounded so great last night on the Ditch Banks net. So we've got 43. Thanks.
All right, Dennis.
So where are we at? SWL 95, Warthog 95 from Orlando, Florida. He's got the 223 on as well. I'll see if we'll probably get one of the 223s checked in tonight. Nice radio. I still like the way that's got the nice metal front end and just a well-built, it's solid built thing. It's like one of those 57 Lincoln Premiers with the big fins on it. You just can't go wrong. Let's go to Kermantown, I believe, SWL 96. Hello, Dennis. And over to 97, Boston 97. And then up the hill a ways to SWL 98. All right, Tracy, if you can hear me, I've got you checked in. You're on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for tuning in. Over to SWL 99. Okay, 98 is in. Didn't hear 99. Let's try. I think my connection on the Echolink should be good now. We've waited 19 hours or whatever it was. So let me give a call for, if I get the right connections here. See if we can't find SWL 100. Hello, Tony, KB6GFD.
Hey, Johnny.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in WL100, 84BAO.
All right, looking good and sounding good on the Echolink link tonight, where the interference is never a problem. Thanks for checking in tonight, KB6GFD. That takes us over to shortwave listener 103. SWL 109. SWL 110. You know, with the water being so low in Millerton, I'm kind of worried about 110. I think he needs to float his station up to the top to have the antenna come through. And 97, hello Boston 97. Sometimes the internet is a bit slow. So 97 is checked in. Thanks for listening to your old Tube Radio Network. Checking in over to oldtuberadio.net, SWL 111. If you tried earlier, Robert, I didn't hear what the band was like. It's actually kind of quiet around here. But I see you on the big screen, so we will get you checked in. Over to SWL 113. SWL 114. Hey, and there is, let me grab the right microphone if I can find it here. KB6GFD, I hear you, over. All right, got you good. A little scratchy on the FM, but we've got it. KB6GFD. All right, and as you heard, a little scratchy on the crossband, but making it in here to Central Fresno, SWL 111. So we'll do the official check-in there. Over to SWL. Let me try 114 again. And I didn't hear him last night on the ditch banks. I think he might be down in the Berenda Slough, where you need one of those extended double Zeps for 11 meters strung up under the trees. Let's go over to SWL 128. And I think John is in a little bit earlier, about 43 minutes ago, checking in, not staying late, have appointments with a needle in the morning. That is not the kind of appointments that I like, but sometimes they are necessary to keep. So thanks, John, for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, when I click the button right here, you will be checked in. All right. Let's go over to SWL 131. Was that you, John? Over? Okay, we got you checked in, Mr. Rude. Mr. Rude, you've got company tonight. Anyway, you're sounding good. Yeah, but you're the original. You do it the right way. Thanks, John.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to SWL 133. And 133 checking in. All right, Dave, we've got you beaconing around the big camphor tree out here into the Starduster antenna. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Then over we go to shortwave listener 135.
SWL 135 checking in.
Checking in and checked in. You're still sounding good, so all is go for the Old Tube Radio list. I got a proxy check-in for 137. Up the hill to Tony, SWL 145.
145 checking in. I don't know if this radio's getting out okay on AM.
It is getting out fine on AM. I hear you 100%. Was good to check in Friday. I had a really horrible Echolink connection, so I think my final transmission probably got dumped to you guys. But other than that, everything is good, and definitely enjoyed those questions of the morning. Over.
Yeah, Roger, I don't think it was your Echolink. They've been having an issue with the repeater lately. So you're sounding good on the Echolink, no problem. Yeah, it's just the repeater was having issues with the repeater lately on the 1.8 in the morning. Just in the mornings, it seems like.
All right, maybe it's getting, the conditions are such, maybe there's another repeater somewhere where it's getting some interference. I don't know. I think it's PL'd, so it shouldn't do that, but you just never know. All right, Tony, you're sounding good on AM, no problem.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, enjoy you jumping in there and joining us on Friday. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, my schedule worked, and I remembered, so good stuff. All right, going over to SWL 147, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Neil is in Kakalaki in the house, as they say. Cool evenings, warm but not hot afternoons, and very quiet radios, as you can see tonight, at least for the skip conditions. Thanks, Neil, for checking into the Old Tube Radio Network. I want to try, and I know there's a bit of delay, but I want to do one more Echolink contact here, since I think we have a link, and you just never know when you are going to have to wait a few hours to get get things set up. And Keith is out there listening, so I want to see what's happening. I think he's in Virginia, West Virginia. Anyway, Keith, you can help me out on that one. KW4SR KB6GFD. Can you hear me? Over. And I know sometimes there is a bit of a delay, so we'll see what happens. Here we go. Or, sometimes with Echolink, you've got to have this connector plugged in. Here we go. I think got some audio now. Now transmitting, but no audio.
Now you don't have no fucking audio yourself, yeah.
All right, I got the transmission, but the audio was more noise then signal, as we say on the band. So if you want to give it another try, or we'll do it a little bit later. Anyway, give it another try. See what you can do. Over.
Yeah, the first time I couldn't find the icon to key up. I found that, and I think I had the microphone covered up. So how is this? Do you read me? KW4SR.
Yeah, it's working good now, and nothing's covered up, and it has good audio over.
Very good. Yeah, you're sounding good here in Virginia tonight. Yeah, we've got cool weather. Feels like fall here in the so.
Well, we have cooler weather. It was still probably up in the high 80s today, but it is definitely going to be fall. The nighttime temperatures are going to be down in the 50s, so things are going good. As they say, it is great antenna weather. Keith, thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, and hope to catch you on the air somewhere. You just never know. KB6 GFD.
KW4SR 73.
And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Dreaded Net Roll Call. We've got a couple more stations to go here, and then we'll be talking with and checking in the Tube radios, which is the best thing that happens on a Saturday night here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's try Bobby, SWL 188.
Good evening, Tom Dennis. Good evening, time to all SWLs listening in tonight. Sorry, I missed you guys last Saturday. 188 Snowbeast checking in.
All right, 188 sounding good as always here on Channel 11 on a Saturday evening. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And up the hill we go, SWL 195. Hello, Jim. Over. All right, thanks, of course, Gold Starliner on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Thanks for hanging in there, Jim. And then let's see if Shockwave is out and about or in a position to hear weak Midtown Radio, SWL 226. And nothing from Jeff. Any other check-ins to the Old Tube Radio Network, and we'll jump into the Tube radios here coming up. All right, so back in a moment. We're going to be resetting the stream, and when we come back, it will be time for the glow-in-the-dark radios, the radios from the 1958 when the FCC banged the gavel and said, yes, there will be Class D 11-meter citizen band radio service, to about 1978 when they just didn't make them anymore. But they still are alive and well here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Back in a moment. And if I didn't say it before, I will say it again. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Brought to you by not just any old RADIO, but the Old Tube RADIO, kind of the best kind on a Saturday evening. There are all kinds of radios, and we feature the classic glow-in-the-dark tube radios here on a Saturday evening called the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, your net controller for the evening, and now the stars of this program, as it were, will be brought to the fore. The Old Tube Radio Network listening.
135, 135.
45.
And two right off the bat. It's, 9:09 is the time. I'll put it here, official OTR time. And we will take... Hey, Paul, you will be radio number 2, so jump into the green room. We'll give you a call. Watch the monitors. Mr. Green Oro, Cliff is stepping up in the air chair with his selection, and I think I know what it is, only because somebody spilled the beans earlier on what you might be checking in, Cliff. But go ahead and bring it by. We'll check the Rolodex and get a picture of it. Probably your radio. Hello, 135.
Hello, 33, OTR control. Yes, this here is SWL 135. And this is, let's see, from the Hammerland Manufacturing Company, a Giannini scientific company on Mars Hill, North Carolina. This is the Hammerland CB212, as Charlie Bravo 212. Back to you.
212. There it is. We brought the Rolodex. It says Hammerland CB212 Black. Now, does that mean you have others? Oh, you might have others. All right. Well, when we come back to you, I see there is a different version of that, so we'll see if we've got the right one. But the CB212, yes, Hammerland. What a great little logo they have with the H and the arrow through it. One of the great Heathkit, Hammerland, Hallicrafters, all manufacturers that made other things, made amateur radio gear, and got into the Class D service. And this radio from Hammerland looks a lot like a good old CB radio. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, it really is. With the possible exception of the electronic switching, this has no relay in it. So it's very quiet, at least on my end, switching from transmit to receive. Let's see, it has 8 tubes, but only 6 channels and 3 knobs. It's a very simple radio. The handheld, non-powered plastic handheld type microphone is hardwired straight into the front of the radio. So this is the one you're going to use. According to the manual, this is a ceramic microphone element in this thing. It doesn't say who it's made by. There's just the Hammerland meatball in the middle of it, and on the back it says "Made in USA." That's it. So I don't know who made these mics for this company. Yeah, that's it. It couldn't be any simpler. Do you have my picture up there? So you're seeing the microphone probably.
Yeah, I've got a picture from your file. There's actually 2. Oh, I see. It's a Hallicrafters. Now, how it got in the Hammerland? That's weird. It's got a wrong name on it, because I've also got Hammerland CB212 that's a black and a gray face, even though it says it's a Hallicrafters for some reason. And then the one I'm showing, and I'll go back to, for those who don't have the video or the pictures at oldtuberadio.net, is the... I don't know if it's the same radio and just different filtering or what, but anyway, it is your radio. It's got the microphones displayed in it. It looks like it's got the Hammerland logo right in the center of the microphone. Over.
Yeah, it's what I meant by the Hammerland meatball, right there in the middle. There's the Hammerland logo, the variable hammer-nositor, I don't know what you call it. And it's also in the middle of the speaker, but it's square in the middle of the speaker. And I think you might see other stuff because there are other versions of this radio. Mine is jet black, the jet black microphone, and everything else is jet black, except for along the bottom where the knobs are is your brushed metal kind of business going on there. But there's another version that I think is the opposite, where it's gray on top and black on the bottom or something like that. I know there was 2 or 3 of the versions of this one made.
Yes, and in fact, I just switched to that, and this also has the microphone right at the edge of the picture with the Hammerlin meatball, and it's got the black on the bottom, the 6 channels. There's the red pilot light, the hardwired microphone, and it has an S-meter, which is, was a big deal. That was like getting, radio heater white wall tires on your old car thrown in. Typically on a 6-channel radio, you might not throw in an S-meter, so it works pretty good. I don't know how the receive is on your end, but your transmit is good. The audio is clear, it's nice, and it's punching through with a fairly decent signal. In fact, when you come back next time, I'll add the S-meter to the picture so we can see how that works.
Okay, well, it shouldn't be too impressive on the S-meter. I'm hardly getting a little more than 3 watts out of it. For some reason today. But as far as the receiver goes, the receiver is great on it. And maybe you heard earlier, I was talking to Joe. He was on his walkie-talkie, and I was about the only guy that could hear him. So it's got a good receiver and good audio quality on the receive, too. That front-firing speaker with the Hammerlin logo, it gets good and loud, so there's plenty of audio and plenty of sensitivity in the receive.
All right, very good. All right, I'm trying to get the close-up and went to a weird picture. Here we go. CB212 Hammerlin, lighted dial. I noticed there's a Dymo label thing above the channel selector. I cannot read it, so I'm thinking that might be some back-in-the-day call letters or something.
Only if it were. That's a black Dymo tape on the black background, so you just see the white numbers. Those are the channel numbers. The channel selector is there in the lower left, and it's got only 6 channels, like I say. So the Dymo tape shows it's got channel 7, 9, 11, that's where we are now, 12, 14, and 23. Those are the channels it's got in it.
Okay, what were the channels? I can see 14 and 23. What were the channel numbers?
I'm sorry, starting from left to right, 7, 9, 11, 12, 14, and 23.
All right, interesting. 7 and 14 were channels that a lot of the lower-powered walkie-talkies used. I think Midland used 7. Sears had a lot of channel 14s. My Hallicrafters had channel 11. Channel 9, of course, the emergency channel. Channel 11 and 12 on the early radios were call channels, and they were the band was set up where you would call stations. Like was it intra and inter? So you would call stations that were part of your call, or you could call stations that were another call. Like you would be talking to someone that didn't have your call, wasn't on your call sign. And I think some of the channels like 11 and 12 were for that. So that's a typical channel assortment for an older radio like that. It sounds doggone good on the old Tube Radio Network tonight, and we don't get a lot of Hammerlins checking in. My guess is there's probably not a lot of Hammerlins still out in daily use. There may be a lot of them up and stored away somewhere, but we're glad yours are out on the radio bench and want to come out and play.
I do know that there's several people out there here on OTR land that do have Hammerlins. But yeah, I haven't heard a lot of them checked in recently. But there are a few people out there who've got them, and they've got this one, and of course Hammerlin made plenty of other models, so they're out there somewhere.
They are, and this was the Hammerlin configuration that looked a lot like a Class D 11-meter CB radio. They did have the couple of models that looked a lot like their Hammerlin HQ, 100 or 110 to 100 receiver, which is indeed what it was, and they stuck in a kind of a 10, 11-meter transmitter in the item of interest. Radio number 1 from Cliff. It's a Hammerlin CB212. It's sounding good. Back to you for a transmission, Cliff. Thanks for bringing it by. It works well, and you'll be pleased with the replay.
Okay, well, that's nice to know. I guess I got to try to check it in a little more often. It was acting kind of finicky when I first fired it up today. But it seems to have settled down and is working fine, and I'm glad to hear it sounding okay. Again, nothing special about the microphone, just the one that was built into it. Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you next week.
And it reproduces your voice very well. There's not a lot of highs and lows, but it's not tailoring your voice at all. You sound very close to like you do on FM, so that's kind of a cool thing. Thank you, Paul. Step up into the air share. Let me do a few things before I check in with you. Tracy, 98. Yes, I did get you. I did hear you and got you checked in, so you probably didn't hear me respond to you, but I did get you checked in at the proper time. You made it through just fine on the frequency with no problems there. I want to say hello to our station listening in from New Zealand up in Christchurch, tuning in the Old Tube Radio Network. This is something we've been doing on Saturday evenings here in the United States for the last 35, 36 years or so, where we talk with and feature the classic tube radios. Of course, when we started back in the 1980s, there was no video or audio streaming. We all just had a great time on our 11-meter radios, and thanks to 20th century technology, we're able to share with others through various Universal Media Net web devices. So thanks for joining us out there in Christchurch this evening, and mark it on your calendar. We do this at this time. Try just to do it just about every week and feature some great radios, great collections from our old tube radio operators, like this guy here. Hello, Paul. Can you hear me? Over.
Yeah, the skip kind of stopped, which was really nice. I like to track in my general radio telephone, Super MC11A.
All right, yeah, the skip stopped. I think a lot of things actually. A lot of things actually stopped, making it a little bit nicer on frequency. Well, I know I've got a picture of the Super MC11A because we get one of those checking in just about every week. The radio I'll show is from Cliff's collection. It looks good. And, oh, you know what? After you're done, I forgot to do the old tube radio pen tonight, and I don't know if I have one for the pocket protector. I thought oh yeah, I do. Okay, so after we're done here, we'll fill up the pocket protector. The Super MC11A, probably the last radio that General Radio Telephone could get type accepted, but a good one indeed. Back to you for a transmission. Over.
Yes, I tell you, it was just not the last one, but almost, like you say. It's just a fine radio. It's really a fine radio. They did everything right on this thing. It had that tuner and passband tuning. Wish that passband tuning worked. I'd have to change it every once in a while, even on you. Maybe me, I don't know, maybe you. But not much. Anyway, interesting. Got a CM3 General Radio Telephone microphone, I think, made by Turner. The CM3 logo on the front of the microphone. It's a small mic compared to the one that you got a picture of there, but it's still a CM3. Thank you, Dennis.
It is pretty and it works well. They did a good job of selecting the dynamic carbon, crystal, whatever form it was to match the audio with the radio, because the stock microphones on the Super MC11As always sound really, really good. So it negates having to put some type of preamplified microphone on it, which you just would end up turning way, way down anyway. So why bother? All original is a good thing. All 23 channels. The ECL L800 tube in the output modulator. Since this radio's only got 9 tubes, and a 12AX7A in the audio. There is more information. If you've got a SAMS CB22, page 45 and beyond has the internal workings, but you know they sound good. I'm glad you're picking me up, Paul. The band is actually pretty good down here tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks. I don't check these in very much. This right here got the other ones, but especially his radio. I try to keep up my second best. Pretty close to him, but not quite this good. Anyway, thanks for touching it there.
And thanks for bringing it by. It's our radio number 2 at 9:15, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. And before I go any further, the Jingle Singers. So the Jingle Singers want to do their thing, and then I want to populate the pocket protector.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you and maybe even you. The Old Tube Radio Network tonight, looking for the classic tube radios. And tonight, I think we've done this one before. Maybe it was the manufacturer, but a different company. CBS Tubes from Ken L's Radio Supply Company at 428 Central Avenue, Fort Dodge, Iowa. There's the CBS radio tubes. So I don't know. Is there a CBS brand of tubes, and does anybody have them in their radio? But I've got it in my pocket protector. A nice pen, by the way. OTR is standing by looking for radio number 3. Breaker, go ahead on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you much, here, Dennis. Dennis, doggone it, we're talking to you on our Hustler Radio. We are on the stock mic. Just the way it sounded probably 20-some odd years ago. I hope we're making the trip to you.
Yeah, stock audio is doing good tonight. And what is the model again? I'll get the right radio fired up here.
Dennis, I'm on the Hustler. I'm on the Hustler base. Mr. Hustler on the Hustler base.
On the Hustler. All right. Let me grab a picture. I always have an issue getting the Hustler up here because we don't. Oh, there it is. No, I don't. It's perfect. We'll use the one on eBay. Thank you to the eBay gentleman. That is some fancy wallpaper on a fancy radio. All right. The Hustler is in. Take a transmission.
Now, we kind of stepped out there for a second there, Dennis. I don't know if you still got a copy on me. We did want to key up the original microphone there so you could hear it. I don't know if this one made a difference.
It sounds good. Did you switch the microphone? I'm thinking, I'm showing it's hardwired in, but I think, didn't Harvey change that?
Yeah, it has a 4-pin connector in the front, right below where it says Labs. Right below where it says Labs there, he added a 4-pin connector to it. So now we're on the +3.
You know, the +3 actually adds a little more audio gain, which is not a bad thing because you're not overdoing it. And it adds a little bit more bass response, which is also not a bad thing. So I'm thinking the +3 is sounding good. Over.
Okay, well, doggone it, we wanted to kind of key this one up. This is a little 7-2. 8-channel, very small radio, pretty blue, with a darker blue on the top or the frame. And I know you're probably looking at the one on eBay, which is probably this one. But I found another one that is much newer. It also is a Hustler, kind of a rare radio to be running into. Yeah, we have a few features on this. We have the vertical meter on it. It goes up and down, very small speaker case. a very nice radio to install in the car. It has the handle to mount to the dash. It also has variable tuning. You have the channel selector, again, which, like I said, is only 8 channels. Your squelch, your spotter on and off, which I don't know what it is, and also your crystal. The crystal tune, I guess, is for the extra crystal that's on the band, on the radio.
Yeah, making it easy to jump to a channel you want. Obviously, you don't have all 23, but if you find it's like, I've got to have that channel, you don't want to go in and change it, you can do that. Looks like it's a pretty decent big crystal socket, and similar to the Hammerlin, with not a 23-channel radio, at least on the transmit, but putting an S meter in, which is pretty cool, and you've got the 23-channel for tuning. So looks like once you figure out how you get the tuning on that thing in, you're good to go.
Yeah. In fact, I've had very little trouble with it. It stays pretty much on tune, and it warms up rather quickly. That's what I'm surprised about on this radio. Other than that, the standard mic or stock mic, I screw it in the same way I do this one with the 4-pin deal that Harvey put in front. But I've been wanting to hear what that stock mic sounds like, and one of these days I might get on the other end.
All right, it doesn't sound bad, but I'll definitely say that I think the plus 3 and the way you have it set up sounds pretty good. It's not overdone. Some people might say, yeah, you could use just a little bit more audio, but it helps with the frequency response, and it gives you a little bit more audio than you have with the stock microphone, which is definitely not 100%, but they both sound good. And, of course, World Radio Labs, Hustler, a great company, and you can't go wrong with that radio at all. And we've got it down for number 3.
Thank you, Dennis. Let me check in it. So we'll let the old channel rock.
All right, good deal. We will do that at 9:30. We got the Jingle Singers coming up. Wanted to just a question. Somebody asked a question about the Olson radios, and then if Harvey gets out there later, we might have some response from him. The Olson 717, as far from what I remember, Olson, I don't think Olson made their own radios. They somebody said Metrotech might be part of Olson, and I know the Olson, I think it was called a Sidebander. I think they were made by Regency. It was like a Regency. It's like a Regency range gainer, the spotter, the Olson spotter and Regency. So. Typically, those radios sounded pretty good, but then John's saying something about the chassis made some polymer that turns brittle. So I would check to see if the Olsons were actually manufactured by somebody else, depending on the model number, and then find on that model number, like who, was it Metrotech, was it Regency, was it somebody else, and then you can kind of trace it back that way through the schematics. Interesting. Let's see. What am I doing before I go? SWL 62. Let me get the big board up here, because I do believe that I did see on the big board here, King Duckford on the Old Tube Radio Network. Yes, from Botanero, North Dakota. North Dakota is in the house. And over to the Jingle Singers, and then we will be right back to take your Tube Radio check-ins.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for Radio 4. Hello, Paul. Yeah, I've got this weird noise, my static. The level comes in and then it goes away and it comes back, but it's not messing you up at all. So take a transmission on Radio 4. I'm listening.
You're sounding fine, too. Nice. Even if off and on, it's still nice. I want to check in my BK Dynascan Cobra 98.
Another one of those with the big audio. Let me see if we've got a B&K. Sometimes I have to look different modes here. Oh, I might actually have the radio on which you are speaking. It says Cobra 98. I think that's what you said. Take a transmission.
That's the one I'm talking on right now. Not real pleased with the modulation on it, but it seems like it's making that light blink pretty good on the thing. I better fix to increase everything on the thing. It's called a Dynaboost. I don't know what it increases other than just the noise a little bit. I'm going to kick it on a little bit, see if it made any difference. Did that help any?
Yeah, it's still good. I wouldn't go any more. You don't want to make the audio mushy. It's doing good. Over.
Okay. I could just sure leave the Dynaboost off if it sounds better. Is that the way?
Yeah, I think you can run with it on. It actually does bring it in a little bit better on the audio.
Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy it for the archives. I'll be here pretty soon. The other thing's got quite a deal. It's a big radio. Like the picture says, real pretty radio. Difference between the 88 and this 80 is the looks of the thing. And this one here is mostly solid state. 80 with hand wired and all that. So interesting on the Cobras. Anyway, it has an ear, incoming power, outgoing power, and SWR in one, which is real nice. And it's got that Dynaboost I was talking about. It increases the modulation, they say. And running a tuner microphone on the thing, it's a JM Plus 2U. Now, this is an amplified mic. You guys were just talking about it. But, you can turn the microphone mics down and make it sound just like a good microphone. Back to you.
Absolutely, and with those radios, typically, if you had the range boost, you really need it on for the stock mic. If you have the amplified, you don't. So you've probably got a way to figure out, and you're close to it when you got the range boost up where that control needs to be on the amplified microphone to make it sound good. But I'm not hearing any flat topping or anything like that. But obviously, if we played a little bit with it, we could probably tune it in 100%, but you're doing good. The Cobra 98, I guess the cousin to the 88, and they always have great audio, stock audio, and like Dennis 1017 does. If you've got the audio rack on a 98 or an 88, those radios will accept some good wideband audio. So the audio guys like them as well. You are radio number 4, the Cobra, doing a good job tonight. Full-fledged radio, all 23 channels, S-meter. And I was looking to see if I could find a price on the radio. And I don't have anything. I just know it's in Sam's CB23, but my guess is this was definitely up near the $200 range for sure. Over.
Yeah, I don't have it either. I'll have to fix that. They put it on there, so I'll have it on my little list in here. Anyway, it's got 12 mixing crystals on the thing for 24 channels. And I think the last radio or two that I checked in had the same thing, which was new to them. The Neo radio. It's a 10 silver, big radio. They like it very much. Thanks for checking it in.
All right, and thanks for bringing it by. And GWD Labs brings up a good question. He says B and K Precision. And we're showing that this is actually B and K Dynascan. It's B ampersand K. So BK or B&K Precision might be something else, or it's morphed into, from 1968 to the present. But this would be a B&K Cobra 98, sounding good on the old tube radio network. And then I guess the question is, who is B&K? Over. And you're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. We are standing by for radio number 5. And you can hear my receive kind of going up and down with the static. So I don't know if it's an internal thing or we just actually have a lack of or more noise tonight on the channel. We've still got a lot of smoke in the air. The air quality is not good here. There's a large fire up near the national park, up near Sequoia National Park, which is about 50 or 60 miles south of where I am at, and typically not in the wind range. But when the wind starts coming in the morning or in the evening and it's not coming from the coast, we will get that smoke jumping through here. I guess all smoke is bad, whether it comes from from the forest or your radio. And I hear some AM carriers down on 3870 on the 75-meter band, but the AM is a little bit weak to pick up the signal. Hello, Joe, 60. Can you hear me? Over.
We got your breaker. We got your breaker there for sure. Dennis, we'd like to check in our messenger, Johnson Messenger 223. Doggone it, I think it's warmed up enough. I have a monopoly of radios here. They're driving me crazy. I'm trying to not interfere with one or the other there, but at least we're breaking away from so many knobs and different things to turn on the Johnson Messenger here. All the guy has to do is hit the old volume squelch there and turn it on and add a little volume to it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when you get a system down that will work, but like you said, you've got to be careful even if the radio is not hooked up to the antenna, which obviously it shouldn't be. It's still going to receive your signal, so you got to make sure the radio's not talking back to you. We're getting the big well-made radios tonight, not the super fancy Brownings and the Trams, but the Hammerlands, General Radio Telephone, the World Radio Labs, the B&K Cobra, and now the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. That's also where's my background? Yeah, it's right over my left shoulder. So if you want to hear what one of those sounds like, I will stop talking. Joe, take a transmission. Over.
20. Okay, 20. We got you. Yeah, doggone it. Dennis there. We're on the pretty little Johnson Messenger with the original stock mic. Of course, we talked about the little fin that this microphone has. It looks so much like a Turner mic, but doggone it, it always confuses me. But other than that, it's 10 tubes, hardwired in. I mean, this is a bass. This is a tube-type bass. There's no two ways about it. Can't go mobile with it.
Yeah, and Johnson did that on purpose, because they already had the Messenger and the Messenger 2. And this is the Messenger 2. It's the base version of the Messenger 2, the 223. That's why they call it. They put the 23 channels in, put the base power supply. I don't know what. I never looked at the chassis. I don't know if they turned the thing sideways and then brought all the controls to the front or whatever. And then they, at this time, 1968 to 72, when these are out, somewhere in between that time, they started producing solid-state mobiles, the 323 and the 123. That probably might have worked a little bit better for bouncing around and out of the mobiles. And thanks, 23 Scooter saying that the price on the Cobra 98 in 1970 was $239.95. I figured it had to be around $200 because that looked like a top of the line radio. This radio here, the E.F. Johnson, which was in competition with that radio in 1970, sold for anywhere from, depending on if you got it with a microphone, $200 to $214, and I'm assuming that it might be more or less depending on where you bought it from. That was the suggested price, so it was definitely in competition with that Cobra 98 on the price. Back to you.
Yeah, and that Cobra 45 ad on there, boy, that was nice. I really enjoyed looking at that one. Hey, okay, Dennis, well, I thought it was extremely high for the price, but it's a well-built radio. Definitely a boat anchor. Thanks, Dennis, for letting me key this one up.
All right, we'll call it typical for the day, but back in the day, to use that phrase, electronics were not cheap when you figure in, what is it, the $2021, and the fact that you could probably get a black and white console television for that. Heck, for $239 in 1970, you probably could get a used 1961 Ford Falcon 2-door sedan. So it's sort of all relative. Electronics started getting a little bit more affordable. But this is still made in the USA. This is right at 1968, 69, 70, when the import invasion, shall we say. Anyway, the import radios, the chassis from Japan and Korea started meeting these price points for the USA guys a little bit tough. And hence why most of the manufacturers, at least here in the U.S., closed their doors by 1978 or so. Always sounding good on the Messenger 223. You cannot go wrong with that radio. It's our number 5 tonight. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, Dennis.
And good night to Brown Dog Audio. All right. Yeah, definitely take it easy. Don't push it too much. Don't stay up late if you don't have to, but we appreciate you stopping by and saying hello on the Old Tube Radio Network. We'll catch you next week. Uncle Gunter, who will be leaving the Old Tube Radio Network, but you will see him if you go to the various, some of those live YouTube channels that have the amateur radio things. No doubt you will see one nice voice checking in. It is good to have you stop by, and we will catch you next time on the Old Tube Radio Network.
20.
And 20, who I thank you for the friendly reminder. Hello, Harvey.
You had a question on something?
Oh, we were talking, there was some comments about Metrotech radios, and if I'm thinking correctly, let's start over. There were some comments about Olson Electronics, and there actually was an Olson Electronics store where I grew up in Southern California, down on Hawthorne Boulevard, and I'm thinking the Olson radios. I'm thinking Olson didn't make radios; they rebranded radios, and I'm thinking they rebranded Metrotechs. And I'm pretty sure they rebranded Regencies. But I'm just wondering if that, I don't know if you've had any on your bench, but if that jives with what you know over.
Well, they, let me see if I can lock this. Come on, lock on. No, doesn't want to lock. Okay. Or does it? Hello. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. Olson had their own company in Akron, Ohio. And in some of their ads, I don't know if they rebranded things, but they sold a lot of stuff, different things besides radios. But yes, a lot of them look like other radios, some Metrotech, excuse me, look like some Olsons, etc. But they did have their own company in Akron, Ohio. And there's an ad that indicates they had a whole lot of stores. You mentioned one in L.A., but the ad I saw showed that they had them in probably half the state.
All right, yeah, and I know there was a radio called Olson Sidebander or something, which was basically, I think it was a Regency range gain. Just grabbing some stuff quickly from the internet. Olson Electronics was a retail electronics store that had outlets from coast to coast in the mid-50s till early 1980s. The home office was in Akron, Ohio. And they're showing some pictures of some stereo, AM, FM stereo gear. And there is an ad here for some Olson Electronics stuff. The Olson Electronics catalog, mail order catalog, founded by the brothers Irving, Sidney, and Philip Olson in 1927 as Olson Radio, based in Akron, Ohio. Interestingly, the company had a chain of small retail stores spread across the USA, more like Radio Shack became later on. And that's correct, but their catalog competitions were Lafayette, and usually had the fewer bigger stores in major metropolitan areas, which they did down where I lived near L.A. Let's see, in the early years, at least a large part of their offerings were surplus stock, and their catalogs were decidedly more down market than most, being printed on newspaper stock, which in terms mean fewer copies survived the ravages of time. Don't you know?
Oh, yeah. I've got, okay. The relay unkeys, but the way the switch works, it stays keyed up. But it's weird. It kind of does the double keying thing on this mic. You're right. The Olson Sidebander, which wasn't sideband, and Sidebander 2, which also wasn't sideband, they were kind of clones of some of the Regencies, but they did have 2 meters and in the upper left-hand corner on the Sidebander 2, a few extra lights. So it was kind of dressed up. They were basically gray, silver, and black, the radio. I've got, I think, the spotter, and I know I have a Sidebander 2, I think. Yeah, it's the Sidebander 2. But also, Bernstein Appleby had that spotter-type radio. Looks like an Olson. Phil has one of those. Anyway, I might as well check in this radio also, so get your pad and pencil out.
Okay, radio check, and you'll be number 6 at 9:48. Yeah, I always wanted an Olson sidebander. One of the first guys I talked to that could barely hear me on my Radio Shack was he had an Olson sidebander, and that's indeed. It did not do sideband, but it was the doubles, the suppressed AM carrier, because it was a Regency, so I think that's where they got the name sidebander, but it did not have a sideband. And Dave D, thanks. Olson also sold Teledyne. It says Olson Electronics was taken over by Teledyne at some point in the latter half of the 1960s, and they even marketed that marked the start of the decline in the company's fortunes. Teledyne started dumping low-cost but high markup wares into the stores, and overall quality of the in-house brands in general went down. In the late 70s, many of their smaller stores only stocked Olson-branded products and locally sourced surplus stock. In addition, the interest in surplus products declined with the miniaturization of electronics and the growing purchasing power of the consumer. Because Olson also did kits. They did budget kits as well. So another one of those. We made it through the 60s, but we didn't do quite good in the 70s. And it says, do not confuse Olson with the British concern, Olson Electronics, that came later. But the company appears to have gone out of business in the early to mid-1980s. All right, tell us about the radio that I'm going to mark down as radio number 6. Over.
Okay. This radio is kind of an unusual one. This is it's oh gosh, I can't think of the name now. I have to turn the radio around. It's the Spitfire, not the same Spitfire that Cliff has. This is the Spitfire, and I have to turn my 2-meter radio down. Okay, this is the Spitfire, but this is the Canadian version, and it's it says on the original box, the Spitfire by Cardone, and I pronounce it with the French kind of accent rather than Cardone, because it's from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and that's on the box.
Break station.
For them, the Spitfire looks identical.
Hang on, break.
Robin T-123 with the magic eye. However, where it says Robin on the lower right, if you put up a picture of the Robin T-123, where they have the word Robin, this one doesn't say that. And right below the phone jack, next to kind of the word Robin, it would say Robin T-123 base mobile. Well, this one says Cobra 24, a product of Cardone Import Company Limited. And on the back it says the Spitfire and made in Japan for Cardone Limited, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I have the original box that says that. I have the original hand mic, AC and DC power port. This radio works fine. It's almost, I would say, probably a 9.2 out of a 10. It's got a little problem on receive, which is the speaker, I figured out. And also channels 13, 14, 15, 16 are out, so I have to replace the crystal. However, it looks just like the Robin T-123.
Excellent. And a great old buzzer transmission for your YAM pleasure. I don't have a shot of the Spitfire, but I've got the Mark XL, which is actually the Robin T-123B, because it doesn't have the magic eye. Let's see. I want to quickly say hello if you're still listening to SWL 50. Over.
Oh yeah, sure, you betcha.
All right, 50 you are checked in. And what radio are you running?
Oh, my old standby. Golden Eagle Mark III sideband.
All right, and we'll get that on the list as well. A 2-for-1. Thanks, Mark. And I also want to say that I did hear on the crossband a check-in for SWL 47. And I got you, my KB6GFD. And then I also wanted to say thank you to Joey L. And he's our station in Inez, Kentucky, where it is almost 1 o'clock and 56 degrees. All right. You can say hello to everybody on Harvey's nickel, but that's okay. So, yeah, I'm errantly showing the Cardone Spitfire Mark XL, which is the Robin T-123B clone, but it's definitely the Panasonic chassis has made it to Canada. Over. Back to you, Harvey.
Roger, put up the T-123.
Oh, that's a good idea. And then we'll imagine. Thank you, Harvey. I don't know why I didn't think of that. We'll imagine that we're looking like the Cardone. There was also another Spitfire that had all sorts of little fancy little gigas on where the circular lights are on the Robin. They have these square lights. But so you're telling me you do have the magic eye tube on that? Over.
definitely have the Magic Eye tube. It's winking and a blinking, as somebody says. Excuse me. Where it would normally say Robin, this one in the silver rectangle says Cobra-24. And that's factory on there. Nothing was added. And where the phone schedule goes, it says a product of, and then below that, Cordone Import CO period limited abbreviated. Anyway, so those two spots are the only difference between this and the Robin. I have the meter light, which is red. It goes red. My Robin T123, I didn't want red, so I changed it, and it goes green. Hope I'm not shooting that. Okay. Anyway, so I brought this one out because it was easy to grab, but I have to change the speaker. The speaker is apparently shot. It kind of mushes up or something. I've had an external speaker plugged in. It's probably the wrong impedance, but it makes everybody sound better. I also changed 3 tubes, which I think improved it a bit too. Anyway, the microphone I'm using is the Robin desk mic, the silver and black Robin desk mic. I do have the original gray Cardone hand mic, which looks identical to the original Robin gray hand mic, which goes with the 123, which I have. Also, because of the wiring on this, you can plug a 4-pin Cobra mic into this thing, which I can do to see what a D104 sounds like.
All right, do that, because I've got a lot of static tonight, and I don't want to give you a report that because of the static isn't true, but the audio sounds like it could be better on that radio. It's not that it's not loud, it is. It's not as crisp and clear, but I'm not sure if that's because it's mixed in with the static. So changing the microphone would give us a thought on that. 23 Skidoo, looking at his files, and we confirmed that there were 3 Spitfires. The Spitfire, which you're talking on now, the Spitfire Mark II, which I had earlier, and the Mark XL, which I also had earlier, and those were the Panasonic clones of the 123B and I think the 240D. You have the Spitfire, which I don't think is a Panasonic chassis, unless it's a number 1. And Cardone was originally in Montreal and later in Windsor, Ontario. So still Canada. If I would play "Oh Canada" right now, but then it's a copyrighted thing. I don't have the Jingle Singers can't do "Oh Canada." So we don't want to get flagged. So take a transmission with the new microphonium.
Okay, D104 amplified. I don't know if it makes much of a difference. The Robin desk mic is a dynamic amplified desk mic. This is a D104.
All right. You know what? That actually brings you up a little bit louder, and it puts a very good bass note into it. But I'm still hearing... was this a radio we're talking about mushy on the receive? I'm still hearing a little bit of mushiness in the incoming audio. It's loud, and it sounds like you. And I don't know if it's because of a soft... Could you have a soft tube? Could you be overdriving a little bit? But then you don't get the gain. You've got plenty of audio. The radios we had tonight, like Paul on the General Radio Telephone and Cliff on the Hammerland and Joe and the Hustler and the BK Cobra, they all had some nice, sharp, high mids that I'm not getting with that. So I'm just wondering if that's part of, you talked about mushiness, and I know you said it had a crystal that was, I've got the same problem I'm in Regency, where you lose one crystal and 4 channels go out because of the synthesizing. So, yeah, you're on the T123 clone. It has, and that's what we're showing, but as Harvey mentioned, where it says Robin, it says something else. And it's working. So, yeah, a definite okay on that microphone, a little bit more audio gain, and a little bit more low frequency, believe it or not. So that radio has the capability to put some more fidelity over.
Okay. Well, I haven't really checked all the tubes because I've been lazy. I've got tubes here, and without testing them, I'm putting them in. And I cleaned. But I have to go through and really check most all of them out, and then put real good ones in. And I'm going to check the caps and do all that too. So, and this is the Robin clone, so it's got that funky circuit board underneath. So, got to do all that. So I just thought I'd bring it by. Okay, I've got at least another one that I'll check in before you close it down tonight.
All right, very good. I went to sideband to check your frequency. If you don't already know, that is dead on. That radio is right on frequency. And when I switched to sideband, a little clue that there may be some audio issues creeps up immediately, and your audio level goes way down. So your sidebands aren't up to what I'm hearing on the AM for some reason. It drops, your audio level drops way down. So there is some, I'm going to call it lack of clarity, some fuzziness, some mushiness on the transmitted audio, but it's loud. It seems to be loud on AM, but it doesn't have, as Mr. Bob Heil would say, that articulation. And changing the microphone did change. Like I said, the radio's got some good fidelity. It brought in a lot of bass that you didn't have before. So works here at radio number 6, the Cardone Spitfire. Also want to say, check in SWL 28, and that's Gary. Gary's back in after his surprise birthday party. Happy birthday, Gary. I've had a couple of surprise birthday parties in my day that were, and I hope yours was like a true surprise, where you don't know at all that something is happening, and they totally fool you and totally reel you in, and it's really fun. So sounds like you had a fun evening, and that is good. Got you checked in, and I was smelling something. I was smelling some deep fat fryer stuff, and I thought it was, the jingle singer's doing something, but it's cornbread. It's cornbread over there. He's up in the balcony with the fryer and doing some donuts. So if you want some donuts after you get the stuff down in the green room, walk up there and see cornbread. So thanks, Harvey, for radio number 6. Good gosh, I just looked at the time. Let me do some jingle singers, and then we'll do some counting and amounting, and then try and get anybody else that wants to check in the radio.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And we are standing by for Radio 7.
60.
And hello, 60. I think I might be able to put you in as Radio 7 here at 10:07. Over.
Oh, good deal. Yeah, we're gonna check in Dennis or Robin, 123B. Doggone it. We're looking for something here. We think we just lost it. Hold on a second.
All right, and were you in Canada? As we just found out moments ago, you would be checking in a Cardone Spitfire XL, I think would be the model number for that. But since you were in the Americas, you are indeed checking in the Robin T123B. Over.
Yeah, that's what we got in front of us. A pretty radio that Harvey had. Doggone it, just looking at it, it had me double taking, looking back at this one. And he also had my modulation light really flickering. It's almost as if I were on it. It flickered better when he was on it, I think. Shame on the mess. But anyway, I wanted to check this one in. 11 tubes. We are on an amplified D104, and I think we had to make a couple of adjustments. One was our RF gain, really sensitive, but this radio has such a beautiful receive. The speaker on it must be in very good shape.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for me, because that means you can hear me well. I would say the transmitter is definitely in good shape. Nice, clear audio. See, now, that is the clarity I'm talking about. Nice and clear, no mushiness, doing good. I think that's what we're striving to hear on Harvey's 123 version on the Cardone. But your 123B, the Green Machine is sounding good for Radio 7 tonight. Over.
Well, we thank you much. This one is AC and DC, but for the time being, it's going to be running AC for quite a while. We had quite a monopoly of radios up here. Doggone it, we got everybody moved around, and I'm making sure that everybody's off. And I like this one because it has that instant on. I don't have to worry about it. It's pre-warmed up and ready to go when a guy gets ready to talk. Okay, Dennis, I won't tie it up too much longer. I just wanted to make sure that I got the T123B checked in. And this is also has funny channels on it, Dennis. This one has about 10 extra channels. So it is fairly a nice, it's a nice radio.
Definitely a nice radio, working good on all 23 channels. A player for sure, one of the Panasonic chassis, and you can't go wrong. That's Joe on the Robin T123B tonight. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you for letting me have this. Doggone it, Dennis. We'll let you get it on there, so I know it's getting late. You can be proud of those boys. Them Bulldogs, they really went to town yesterday. My brother came in from Orville, I think, to see the game, and I had my son here, and his daughter and my grandchildren went to see the game. It was shaky there for a minute. Doggone it, we thought we were going to lose it there, but after the half, boy, they took off after UNLV and put a spanking on them.
Yeah, that's one of the big rivalries, like UNLV and up there in Idaho, so that's good. Okay, I missed that one. So the Bulldogs are good. They might stay in the top 25 ranking for another week.
Yeah, it would have hurt to beat Oregon. If they'd have beat them, they'd have been like 5 in the nation. But yeah, they'll stay in that ranking, I guess, for a little bit. It's going to get tougher down the road. But I got faith in the old boy as long as he stays healthy, because that quarterback is really hurt. I just hope they don't tear him up or mess him up too much. Okay, Dennis, we'll get on out of here and do what you got to do. Thanks a whole lot.
All right, I'm going to do counting and amounting. Thanks for the Robin T123B. Want to say hello to a couple stations joining us here at the end of the net in Central California, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, one of our listeners, and a new one from at or near Newtown in the UK. Newtown, the largest town in the county of Powys. Is that Powys? I'm going to mispronounce these things. Mid Wales, lies on the River Severn in the community of Newton, and it looks like a Welsh name, or like I'm going to mispronounce for sure. Just down the road from Stepaside and the Pwll Penarth Nature Reserve. Anyway, it's cloudy, 58 degrees. Good morning to you here on the Old Tube Radio Network, something we do every Saturday night from 8 to 10 o'clock. That's our time here on the west coast of California. early morning for you. But thanks for tuning in, and it's got videos that you can watch back and audio playbacks or the live thing, just like you heard Joe on that radio right there, the Robin T123B. We'll go to the jingle singers who do what they do best when it's time for us to say so long on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Counting and amounting.
One more.
All right, this is the one more frequency. Let me grab my one more radio pen and go ahead, Harvey. Over.
Okay. My Golden Beagle from Browning Laboratories, R68T68, made in which is 100% American-made radio, and custom D104 unamplified microphone.
Custom. Now, what is custom about that D104 over?
Well, it's got the Browning medallion that they put on some unamplified D104s back in the day on the back of the head of the D104. And I picked this thing up back in, 1980 something or other. The radio, the mic, and a little helper at a yard sale before I heard of eBay.
Yeah, before a lot of us heard of eBay. I was just thinking there was no such eBay thing when we started this. And then about 10 years later, eBay started showing up, and then we started getting some of the stranger, hard-to-find radios back when you could go to eBay and get something and actually get a good deal. So it's always good to have those radios, the yard sale radios that we found it in the closet radio. Uncle Fred brought it over because he didn't know what it was radio. And that's what's kept us going these 35 years. The Browning Golden Beagle R68 T68 making its appearance, and it's sounding good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My American radio. 100%, I think. Anyway, we'll turn it back to you. Catch you next week.
All right, and it sounds like you've got guests or something back in there that want you to check the food dish. For our purists, for our Browning purists, can you give us a 10-4 without the Harvey range boost?
10-4, good buddy.
All right, yeah, I've got my RF gain set weird tonight, but that did sound pretty doggone good. All right, thanks for bringing it by. The Old Tube Radio Network. And I think at 10:17, it is time to get on out of here.
Wait.
This is the wait frequency. Go ahead.
I got it warm.
All right, give it about 2 minutes or so. Jingle singers have done our thing. You'll be radio number 9. I was checking to make sure I put X's in the square for all the stations that came in late, and I think I did. Even Mrs. Calabash would be proud of us tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network. And the Google bots in Mountain View are listening to us right now. OTR standing by. Wait, it's very quiet. I need to put some more RF gain in the thing here. there we go. And hello to your hello.
Okay, here we go. Is this thing working now?
It is working over.
Okay. SWL37, we're going to check in our general radio telephone, the Super MC11A, 24-channel version of this thing here with the original handheld stock microphone. Over.
All right, a strategically placed check-in here at the final hours of the Old Tube Radio Network, a general radio telephone, Super MC11A, always working well, and yeah, you know, you need to give it 2 to 5 minutes to warm up, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah, I didn't let it sit that long, but anyway, I just want to get in there real quick. I know you wanted to go.
Well, you know how it is. If a tube radio shows up, we never close.
Okay.
And we've got you in for radio number 9. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Sorry I come in at the last minute, but I was watching a movie, had company, and he left, so I figured I'd jump in real quick, so thank you very much.
All right, and thank you on the Old Tube Radio Network. And let me see if I can do this. The jingle singers, you know, at the end of the net here, they often are not paying attention to me because they're having so much fun over there. But here we go.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
I can always get Mr. Announcer's attention to, especially when I'm trying to sign off the show. Hello to Oakland, California, tuning into the Old Tube Radio Network. Counting and amounting on the radios tonight. Where's my list of lists here? We had 10 radios tonight. 67 SWLs, 13 checking on page 1, 17 on page 2, 14 on page 3, and 23 on page 4. Our first new 8-week roster and the 00. It's Phil Grandpa, SWL 56 in the 00 position for the next 8 weeks. And it took a while. We had no discernible manufacturer that wanted to take the lead, and then it was Browning, and then it was Browning and General Radio Telephone, but a good selection of classic radios tonight, and we will go through them here. Also, you can always watch it. We've got the video replay is up, audio replay is around, or if you experienced it live, well, there you go. Radio number 1 tonight, the Hammerland CB212, the 212 from Cliff. Radio number 2 was Paul on his General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, one of our 2 General Radio Telephone Super MC11As tonight. From World Radio Labs, the Hustler, Joe, Mr. Hustler on the Hustler radio, sounding good. 2 microphones, they both sound good. I think the second choice probably had a little bit more oomph to it. I think that was an amplified microphone for Radio 3. Radio 4, Paul on the B&K Cobra 98. Radio 5, Joe was on his E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Radio 6 tonight was Harvey on the Cardone Spitfire, the Canadian branded version of the Robin T123. Radio 7 tonight, Joe, thanks for working the room. Joe, Mr. Hustler, working our list tonight with the Robin T123B, or I guess it was in Canada, that would be the Spitfire XL. Radio 8, Harvey on his Browning Golden Beagle R68 T68. That was followed by Radio 9, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A number 2. The Thrift Store Special. Thank you, Chris. And in that mix somewhere you heard the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB of Mark, Monkey's uncle. So I think that is it. It is fall. There is a fall-like weather promised all around, and I think it is happening all around, so enjoy it. That is good antenna weather, taking up, putting down, fixing, stringing up. And X4000 says, is it time for Papa India Echo on frequency? Maybe. We used the Costco card, and I got one of those giant Costco apple pies, but I think it is all gone. But I might have some chocolate chip cookies, or if not, I've got some chocolate chip cookie dough, and we'll work on that. Let's try a quick, see if there's any AM activity up on 75 meters tonight. Don't hear anything. Where are the AM people? They're just not staying up late anymore. In fact, 75 doesn't sound like there's much going on. Did we lose the band? Same thing on 40. Not even here in FT8 on 20 meters. Let's see if the FT8's got to be running on. Barely. There they are. There's some teletype. So bands are open. Find a band that works for you and use it. Get on the air this week and do your own Get on the Air night. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Old Tube Radio Network. You know, it's a little bit warm in here. Sometimes getting thrown into the swimming pool is not a bad thing. And it looks like my tie survived. We'll catch you all next week on your Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks to Frodex for the Nixie tubes, and thanks to you for joining us. We'll see what we can do next week. OTR 73.
Thanks a lot, Dennis. Enjoyed it. You take care.
Good night, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. Iced Ovaltine.
I don't know. I've got some cocoa, like the Hershey's stuff, where I'm making that up. I'm totally out of Ovaltine, so this one I have to work on. You got to add sugar, a little bit of whatever, and melt the thing down. So maybe we'll try that over ice or something. I'm going down to the green room. You know, leftovers are still good in the green room. So maybe that's where you'll find me. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of the seersucker suit as well. 73 all from OTR.
See if Fossil's around.
I may get some of that chocolate chip cookie dough. And Jan, good morning from Sweden, man. Good morning. The Old Tube Radio Network. Mark your MediaNet device there. This is something we do starting early in the morning, no doubt. About 2 hours from your time. So when we do this on the live side, but you can always watch us. Old radios from Citizen Band, 11 meters. That's 27 megahertz, and other stuff thrown in as well, but it's kind of a get on the air night from our collectors. So we enjoy everybody who stops by, all the shortwave listeners, all the listeners like myself that enjoy these radios as well. So good night, everybody. We're jumping out. We'll catch you next time.